there's so many diagnoses and different things that can cause shin splints. It's a massive topic. So I think in terms of prevention, the big thing for me with this particular injury, very similar to an Achilles, would be footwear. I think that makes all the difference. I think if you're going to compete at any kind of level, you must be assessed for your footwear, whether that's with a podiatrist and having orthotics, or whether it's just actually getting the correct pair of running trainers for you when you're running or when you're doing any kind of training, correct boots, making sure that all the studs are in your boots, making sure that the boots are of good quality, they're not falling apart. Make sure that your laces are done up, so that the foot's aren't, I mean, it's fashionable to, you know, to potentially not tie your laces whether you've got trainers or anything like that. But the problem is it loses its kind of form and shape. So I think the footwear for me is the big thing that will cause shin splints. And that's the kind of biomechanical connection really between the floor and you. So you've got to get that bit right. So whatever sport you're doing, think about the footwear that you're using. In terms of everything else, I think massage wise, I think especially if you're going to go from having a training session or a game and you've got one a couple of days later again, you can get a lot of kind of spasm and waste products in that muscle which you need to flush out the way as well, especially if it's like a compartment syndrome that's causing it. And get that, just the flexibility and the kind of extensibility of that muscle and the surrounding sheath that it sits in, get it as pliable as you possibly can if you're going to go and play again. And if something is tight, just listen to your body again. I think that's the thing with shin splints. You've got to get it early on. If it's starting to ache or starting to give you pain, I think that's when you need to make sure you take the precautions and just rest and let everything settle down. But for me, the main thing, as I say, is footwear. Changing your surface will have quite a big influence. If you're in football, for example, if you go from playing on a soft ground to then go and playing on a hard 3G surface or an artificial surface, it will start to give you the kind of shin pain, often down the front of the shin. So I think that will definitely have an influence on it. So try not to change what kind of surface you play sport on or run on. I mean, obviously sometimes you can't help it because of the weather, but for example, if you're running, if you run on the roads and then you run on grass or softer ground, you will notice there will be a difference, especially if you go the other way and you start to run on roads, you will start to develop shin pain from that. So that can have a real effect on whether you're going to develop shin pain.